Now for a CNN Security Watch, this morning we're looking at some of the precautions you could take and tactics you could use in the case of a terrorist attack. Jeff Beatty is the president of Total Security U.S. and a former CIA counterterrorism officer. Welcome.
Good morning, Carol.
Why don't we start with buildings first? And these are some of the safety tips that you gave us previously. You say know the exits and carry a flashlight and a compass.
There are a number of things that you could have in your desk if you're in a large building. A flashlight is a good thing to have before an incident. Know all the exits. If you haven't done a drill at the company or at your office, suggest to the authorities that you do a drill. Hey, let's do a drill so we know how to get out. We have evidence that showed in the World Trade Center the companies that did evacuation drills did incredibly well in the crisis.
How do you know if you should evacuate?
Well, I think the first thing every citizen needs to remember is they are responsible for their own life and their own safety. If they see something that they think is unsafe, get out. Do not stay in. Make the call yourself. You basically say, do I think it's safer to evacuate or safer to stay? Is there likely to be a fire? Do I have to contend with that? And then, based upon that decision, that assessment, take action. But reassess as you move through. You may move 3 floors and then find out I need to reassess because maybe now I ought to stay put. I'm down below the 5th floor where I could be reached by a ladder and it looks a little bad below me.
You say carry a flashlight and a compass, but not many people do that. I mean, I have this device here. You wear it on your head. It's a flashlight. Let me turn it on. And that would be great to have, but I just don't know of many people who carry this. And if you carry a compass, you should kind of know which way you should go, because not many people know where north is right off the bat.
Carol, that looks really good on you, that headlight. I think it would be a regular feature. But you don't need to wear a headlight if you have, for instance, a little pen light on your keychain. Or a lot of people don't realize that their cell phone in an emergency hit the screen. It provides enough light in a really dark situation to give you some visibility for 5 or 10 feet.
Okay, let's move on to buses right now. You say people should educate themselves and should get off if they see something suspicious. How do you know if something's suspicious, though?
Good point. I think the best example I can give you of that is what happened in London. We heard the tragic reports that afterwards several individuals reported that this individual on the bus who later exploded the bomb was acting nervous, was acting fidgety, was spending a lot of time going into his backpack and appeared to be working with something in his backpack. Those types of behaviors would make me want to get off the bus and immediately call authorities and give authorities an opportunity to resolve the incident before it manifested itself. And we've seen that work. We've actually trained with a lot of people in this country last year where we successfully prevented incidents because alert passengers provided a tip in time.
Let's get on to subways now. You say get prepared by reading the emergency instructions, carrying a small flashlight, becoming familiar with your surroundings, and carrying change for a payphone.
The change is a good thing. We have a saying at Total Security that cash is king in a crisis. The other thing people should carry is some cash with them at all times. What if ATMs go down? What if we're in a general large attack or the infrastructure goes down? Have a little bit of cash with you in addition to change to make the phone calls, cash to buy what you need, gas to go someplace if you can't use your credit card in the gas pump. But the most important thing to remember in the subway is that third rail, which may still have power to it. You, again, do the assessment. Is it safer to stay still? Is it safer to leave? If you leave,
but
be
how
aware
can you
of that.
do that? I mean, the first thing I would want to do if the worst happens at a subway car is get the hell out of there. But how do you know where it's safe to stand or run?
That goes back to the very first point you mentioned, Carol. The most important thing anyone can do who rides mass transit is to familiarize yourself with the emergency instructions that are there. The FTA and every transit property tells you in advance how to save your life. Just read the instructions. Most people don't.
Okay, let's talk about cell phones because this is kind of a nifty idea. You say you should put ICE in your cell phone. Explain.
ICE is an acronym for in case of emergency, call so-and-so. This gives people, God forbid, you should be a casualty of some sort. This gives people that find you the ability to reach out to people and say, hey, we have your loved one here. Come to such and such hospital. But high tech is good, but low tech works too. When you buy a wallet, there's normally a little card in there that says, in case of emergency, contact so-and-so. So could be that your cell phone gets damaged in the attack. Have that little card in your wallet as a backup.
Will do. Something simple we can do. Former CIA counterterrorism officer Jeff Beatty, thank you for being with us on American Morning.
Thank you, Carol.
And stay tuned to CNN Day and Night for the most reliable news about your security. We'll be back in a minute.